Alright, hey YouTube, this is Shoot 'em Up 1, and this video is going to be about a couple modifications you can do to your Ruger Mark III 2245 pistol. So I'll field strip the pistol quick and we'll get going. Alright, for this modification, both of these modifications, all you're going to need is this part. They're pretty simple. The first one is going to be the slingshot mod, which is really just taking out the detent in the spring in the slide release. And the second mod is going to be taking out the magazine disconnect. And that really just allows for your magazine to drop free from the pistol when you push the magazine release button. And it also eases the reassembling process. It's really quite a bit easier. Alright, here we go. First thing you have to do is remove that pin right here. So, in order to do this, I have a punch and I have my paper clip bent to a certain way so it's easy for me to take this pin out. I don't know if you can see it or not. With your pistol, I'm sure you'd be able to. But there's a spring right here, the sear spring, and that pushes on the pin, so you have to make sure you push that spring back in order for you to be able to take that pin out. And also, this is not like a deep cleaning or anything right now, so I'm not going to be taking out the safety. So you basically just walk this pin out. I've heard that some pins are harder to take out than others. So yeah, you just get it until right here it stops right there and it lets go of the whole hammer assembly right here, and you lift it out and there it is. You have your hammer right here, you have your bushing right here, and you have your magazine disconnect and your magazine disconnect spring. And for this modification, all you're going to do is set these apart, or set these away and put them maybe in a bag for later use, or if you sell the pistol, you can just reassemble it that way. But what I did is I just found a couple washers in my garage that fit around the bushing right here. And we didn't have really any small ones, so I shaved off quite a bit of metal before I got to the size I wanted. Basically, here's one of the washers that I filed down, right there. And then here's the second washer. Basically the same, but I filed the side of it down too, so it's thinner than the second one. Yeah, I know they look pretty rough, but basically you just take these two, you put them on the bushing right here, and what those washers do is they take up the space that the magazine disconnect and the spring took up. And then when you reassemble it, that's what it looks like right there. Basically, when you put the gun back together, you just put it on that, you drop it down in the pistol, and you put the pin back in. Super easy. So now we'll move on, and we'll do the slingshot mod. I just leave the pin hanging on right there. Don't worry about it. And right now, what you're gonna need to do is this also has a spring that's holding up on that pin. It's on this opposite side. I don't know if you can see it or not. You can kind of see it. Right there. And you have to push down on that. This one, I don't know, I think this one's a little trickier than the other one. So I'm just using a flathead screwdriver here. And then got my punch. This one doesn't take any force at all whatsoever. Just push it out. Super simple. And what this does is it releases the trigger and also the bolt catch. And there we go. And we'll take that out. And you have your plunger here and spring, so don't lose that. That can be pretty easy to lose because it'll pop out. So there's the plunger. Oh, there we go. And the spring. There. Those go there. Don't need the trigger. You don't need, I'm pretty sure this is called a disconnector. Okay, so now you have your bolt catch right here. And what we'll do is we'll lift it off of the little part it sits on, a piece of plastic in there, and we'll push it down through here, so it's like that, and then you reach in and lift up and just pull it out of there. And as you can see, there is the detent. And what I'll use is a needle nose pliers. You might not need one, it might just fall right out. Alright, there we go. Handy dandy tool bag. And it should come right out. Really easy. It basically looks like the plunger and spring in the trigger. And same thing with that, you can put that in a bag, you can put it in later if you don't like this modification, but I think you'll like it because that's how most pistols are. I mean, you just pull back on the slide and it'll release. Basically what this does now is, I'll talk while I'm reassembling here. It allows gravity to push the slide release down for you. So as soon as the pressure is off from the bolt, it just falls right down. You can see right there. It's not in all the way, but let's see. There we go. Well, I don't know. I'll show you later when I get it back together. So next, what you do is get these parts, you put them together right there. So super simple. And I'm not going to put the plunger and spring in right now because they'll probably just fall out. So get your bolt catch so it's sitting in there. I don't know how well you can see it. Pretty bad light right now. But then you can just drop your trigger in. And so it's sitting in there. Make sure it's lined up. And you can put your pin back in, making sure that, let's see, come on, focus, just, it's not that hard. Anyway, there's some ridges in there, and you want those going towards the right side of the slide, because that's where the spring catches it and keeps it just from falling out. If you were to put it in the other way, I'm sure it'd hold everything in, but it would probably walk out eventually. So, yep, that's in. And there we go, there's that part. And now what we'll do is we have our hammer, our bushing, with the two washers. And we'll put those back in. And this part can be a little tricky, but I think we got it. There we go. So, it's reassembled. 2 modifications done. Now, hold on. I forgot to put the plunger and spring in. Alright, I'll be right back. Problem fixed. Easy fix. Just take it apart, put it back in. Pretty easy. So, now I'll reassemble the pistol completely, and I'll show you how these modifications in the end affect your pistol, and I think make it much better. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I didn't completely reassemble the gun, as you can see, because I wanted to show you what the modification does of taking the magazine disconnect out, how that helps with the reassembling process. You do not ever need an empty mag again. That is gone. So what you'd usually do at this step, at least for me, I don't know if there's any other ways to do this, but you'd put the magazine in, you'd point the gun up, and you pull the trigger and put the mainspring housing back in. Mainspring in. All you'd have to do now is just skip the step for the magazine. So put that in, feel some spring pressure, and latches right in there. So, I love that. That's awesome, isn't it? So, now, how the mod works of slingshot. Alright, so let's say you just shot a mag, it emptied, take your mag out. Ooh, that was pretty cool. That's the magazine disconnect. Popping right out of there. Woohoo! So, let's pretend you slap one in there. I'm not going to put one in there because that'd be bad. And yeah. So, all that happens is pull back, gravity pushes down, and it pushes the bolt catch down. There. That's all it is. Never been able to do that before. Alright, so there's that. There's this. Those, I think, are some pretty cool mods. Alright, thanks for watching. Again, this is Shoot 'em Up 1. And if you choose to do these, I hope you really enjoy them. I know I will. And happy shooting!